Good afternoon and namaste. A warm welcome to all the earliers, teachers who have joined us today for session of Tea Club. Today we are going to have a session on reading readiness. And before that, I would like you to just take you through the sessions that we've had in the past few days. We've had these academic platform for all the teachers of different subjects, core subjects and supplementary subjects. We've had grammar, English, Hindi, all the languages. Then we've had computers, coding, art, and today we are shifting to earlier section, the most loved, the base of the entire education system. We began with E-Club, a club for children, where we tapped upon topics like water security and cyber alert. And this brought us the new idea of why not taking this, extending this platform to the teachers as well. And then we began this concept, ideating about Tea Club. And we are so overwhelmed with the response of all of you who are joining us and who still are, coming together. So, what is Tea Club? It's a platform. It's a digital platform, new age media, where we as teachers are coming together to collaborate, to learn and share. Today's session, as I said, is on reading readiness, and I take proud pleasure to introduce Shainaz Jussa. She is an educator who needs no introduction actually. She's a certified Jolly Phonics trainer by Jolly Learning from UK, and she is the first Indian to address Jolly Phonics Global Teachers Conference in London. What an achievement. I'm so proud to even read this. She has trained various government schools in association with the Ministry of Education in Nagaland, Meghalaya, Ladakh, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Far East of Africa. Now, this list is not limited so much only. Her experience is spanned over almost 2 decades now, and she runs her own institution known as Phonic Kids. A warm welcome to Shainaz Jassa to take us through this session on reading readiness for early years.
Hello, thank you, Ms. Darshana, for that warm introduction. And I'd also like to thank Chetna Education and Tea Club for inviting me to present this. So, namaste and hello, everyone. My name is Shainaz, and I'm a teacher just like you. I've been teaching children for the past 2 decades now, and I specialize in phonics. So, today we're going to talk about raising readers. हम रीडर्स कैसे बनाते हैं? बच्चे ऐसे ही नहीं रीड करना सीखते हैं. कोई मैजिक वॉन्ड नहीं है कि आप उसको घुमा दो और बच्चे रीड करेंगे. No, it doesn't work that way. Reading happens over the years. It's a skill that needs to be developed. So how do we do this? I'm going to talk about that to you. So let's start with the presentation. One size fits all? Wishful thinking. It doesn't. Children are unique. They don't learn to read at the same time, nor do they learn to speak at the same time. So we need to be aware of this. ये हमको समझना चाहिए. So how are we supposed to help them to learn to read? What is the process? Do we tell them to write it 5 times and just repeat it over and over again? Or maybe उसके बाद में उनको read करना आएगा? No way. You and I have done it. I always call this child labor. ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए. You have to teach them. You don't have to enforce it upon them. So how do we go about with it? Remember that reading is a skill that comes in after the listening and speaking skills. So it's always listening, speaking, reading, and then writing. So writing comes in much later. So what is this listening and speaking skill? इसके बारे में क्या है? How do we go about with it? और क्या reading happens in one go? Do children learn to read immediately? अगर आपको ABCD EFG A to Z you've taught them हो गया? क्या वो reading हो जाता है? No. English is a complicated language. I'm sure teachers आपको ये पता है that the language is complicated. I'm going to make it a little simple for you and help you understand that better through this little time that we have together. So reading happens over the years. First children have to learn the basic code. उसके बाद में होता है slightly advanced code और फिर more layers are added. So systematic and progressive. नर्सरी में अगर आप उसको A to Z सिखा देंगे तो बच्चों को रीडिंग नहीं आएगी. रीडिंग के लिए और भी कुछ करना पड़ता है. तो ये क्या है जो हमको करना पड़ता है? Let's look at the pre-reading skills out here. Preschoolers. Preschoolers को हम रीडिंग कैसे सिखाएं? हेलो हेलो, रीडिंग बाद में, पहले तो लिसनिंग और स्पीकिंग स्किल्स आने चाहिए. So let's talk about the listening and speaking skills. The best thing that you can do for your preschooler is to read stories to them. Or when you're doing storytelling, it's important that these children have eyes that are watching, ears that are listening, mouth that is shut, closed, not talking all the time, hands and feet that are calm, not moving around. Of course, movement is important, लेकिन जब ये storytelling होती है, the children have to sit down and they have to listen. Their heart should be open and their brain should be thinking because you need it for comprehension. So these are the skills that you need to give to the children. Now, in order to do that, the stories should be engaging. They shouldn't be very long. लंबे लंबे stories आप पढ़ोगे तो बच्चों को तो वो they don't have that kind of patience. छोटे बच्चों को वो patience नहीं होता है. So stories have to be engaging, not too long. You can use props for them. और ऐसे काफी सारे stories we have. We have many international stories available in the library. We also have Indian books which are filled with a number of stories. You can do that for them. You can read out from the book or you can just orally tell them the stories. They're listening to the language. याद रखिएगा कि जो भी भाषा आप बच्चों को सिखाना चाहते हो वो उनको पहले सुननी पड़ती है फिर बोलनी पड़ती है. They just can't read and write. They have to do these two skills. So storybooks are a treasure trove of knowledge and it builds up their emotional skills, their social skills as well as their cognitive skills, that is thinking and reasoning also. आप stories को ऐसे ही मत समझिएगा. There's a lot to it. Songs, rhymes, they are amazing for their pre-reading skills. Do not underestimate them. There's a reason for those silly rhymes that you have. आप उसे use कीजिएगा. I'm going to talk more about the rhymes also to you. And when you're reading the book, जब भी आप book read करते हो, you are going to go from the top to the bottom, from the left to the right. Point कीजिएगा when you're reading it. I know ये आपके जो 3 साल के बच्चे या 4 साल के बच्चे, maybe your 5-year-old may not be able to read the text, but they understand something, how to flip the pages, that you're reading from the top to the bottom, from the left to the right. And what they also experience is the joy of reading and being empowered by the knowledge that they get. Just pure pleasure also. Reading should be also for pleasure. And that's what you're going to do. So see that your stories are engaging. Use props, as I said. Modulate your voice. Don't be too soft. You can be soft at times. And then you can increase your volume for that dramatic experience for your children. Change your voice. It works. So, stories. Pre-reading skills. I need to spend a lot of time telling you about this skill. This is called phonemic awareness. Now, as this slide says, phonemic awareness is the ability to hear and manipulate the individual sounds in the spoken word. इसका मतलब है कि there are no words that the children can see out here. There are no letters out here. It's only what they can hear, the sounds that they can hear. Can they hear the sounds? Can they hear the individual sounds? So phonemic awareness comes from the word phoneme, which is the smallest unit of sound in a word. So I'm going to ask you now, what is the starting sound of the word write? Could you please write it? Which is the first sound that you hear in the word write? I hope you've written it in your chat box. Thank you. So you're going to look at it later. So if you've written that's your letter R, you're absolutely right. But if you've written the letter W, you don't hear the W sound. Right begins with a R. Okay? So this is listening skills. Listening, the word right begins with a R sound. So before children start reading, they need to develop an understanding that the words are made up of sounds. We communicate. हम एक दूसरे से जब बात करते हैं, तो we are using sounds. I'm not throwing A, B, C, D, E, F, G at you. Or K, K, G, G. They are sounds. ये हम बच्चों को बताना चाहते हैं. And how do we go about with it? There are many ways. For example, ये हो गया है, समझो, if I tell you sun, and I'll show you the flashcard. And I'll ask the children, sun, which is the starting sound for sun, and they will say, that's the starting sound. So this is a part of phonemic awareness, and there are various such activities that I'll tell you. By the way, this is called phoneme isolation, जहाँ पे हम एक साउंड को लेते हैं, चाहे वो स्टार्टिंग साउंड हो या एंड वाला साउंड हो. जो मिडिल साउंड जो होता है, यूजुअली जो वाउल साउंड होता है, दैट्स अ लिटिल डिफिकल्ट फॉर चिल्ड्रन टू कैच. दे गेट इट इवेंचुअली, बट इनिशियल साउंड, स्टार्टिंग साउंड जो है, इट्स अ लॉट मोर easier to hear, and even the end sound. The single biggest predictor of a child's ability in learning to read or in failing to read is this phonemic awareness. So you got to play a lot of games with them. Remember, no letters are shown out here. Only auditory. Or you can show pictures. No words out there. Here's another thing that I can do with the children. I can ask them, what do you hear when I say t, ah? What do you hear when I say ah? Do you hear a? Or do you hear this? Which one is the t, app? And the children are supposed to say tap, tap. This is auditory, purely listening. And what we're doing out here is we are blending with the children. And there are various other games also that you can play for phonemic awareness. Another one that you can do with the children is basically you can just stretch the sound and ask them if they can hear the word. You can give them hints. So this is a color. Tell me what it is. Red. What do you hear when I say red? And they will say red. Or you could make it more engaging. आप अलग अलग कलर्स लेके आ सकते हो और आपके साउंड्स बता दो और फिर बच्चे वो आके वो कलर उठा देंगे. This is important. They're hearing sounds and these sounds are going to be used in making the words. important skill. The other games that you can play with them is rhyming. और ये मैं अपने क्लास में करती हूँ अपने बच्चों के साथ में, especially with the young children. So we play games and say अगर हमारे क्लास में एक लड़की है और उसका नाम काव्या है, so I'll say, okay, whose name rhymes with Navya? And then everyone shouts out Kavya. Or we could do it in another way. I call out Navya, and the girl whose name or the child whose name rhymes with Navya is supposed to stand up. So this again is phonemic awareness. You can play around with sounds, manipulate the sounds. So please do this with the children before you expect them to bark at text. Yeah, we call it barking at text. आप देखते हो letters को और आप बोलना शुरू करते हो. Comes in much later. And it's not just the letters, it's the sounds that you need to know. So, as per Nipun Bharat, and I hope you know what Nipun Bharat stands for, it's National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading for Understanding and Numeracy. So, as per Nipun Bharat, by the academic year of 2026-27, every child should be able to read correctly with comprehension from age-appropriate unknown text. Class 3 children should be able to read at least 60 words per minute. This is the goal. Or just, I'm working currently with the Ministry of Education in Ladakh, और हमने ये निपुण भारत पर काम किया है, और उसमें हमने ये रीडिंग रेडीनेस के वर्कशॉप भी रखे हैं और उनको साउंड सिखाए हैं, which I'm going to teach you also. Phonics plays a very important role in reading readiness. So ये जो टीचर्स जो लद्दाख के हैं, they are in remote areas that don't have any phone connectivity or internet, and ऐसी भी जगहें हैं कि जहां पर रास्ते नहीं हैं. You have to trek up to the place where the people are staying, and some places are near the army camp, और उनको संडे के दिन इंटरनेट आ जाता है. So all my teachers, they come near the army camp to get their free internet connection, और वो अपने क्लास के वीडियोस मेरे साथ शेयर करते हैं. And let me tell you what I like best about the videos that they share. What the teacher says at the end, Shabash. It's so heartwarming. Encouraging children, don't underestimate that. Every time the children get it, or even if they don't get it, the teacher's still encouraging them. Beta, it's okay, you will get it. Jayega. Encouragement. Please do not put your children down. You make or break your students. So always encourage them. Remember, each one is a genius. You got to help them. That's your job. That's your responsibility. That's your duty. So, yeah, my Ladakhi teachers are doing a great job. And I hope the listeners out here, the teachers out here, I'm sure you're also doing a wonderful job at your school. So let's talk about the alphabetic code. आपको तो पता है 26 letters है, 26 letters. But do you know how many sounds are there in the English language? Would you like to type it? So I'm going to give you some time to type it, just about 10 seconds, because you just need to write the number. How many sounds are there in the English language? 26 letters. But how many sounds? Have you written it? I hope you're not doing a Google search. Well, there are 44 sounds. 44. That means there's something wrong out here. 26 letters, 44 sounds. How is that possible? Well, unfortunately it is, because English has a complicated spelling system. It's highly complicated. Unlike our Indian languages, which have a transparent code, जो दिखता है वही बोलेंगे हम. There's no hidden agenda out there. But in English, it's different. You have letter names, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, लेकिन sounds उसके तो अलग है. ऐसे हिंदी में थोड़ी होता है, मराठी में नहीं होता है, गुजराती में नहीं होता है. Sounds and names are the same, right? But English is different. Also, there is a single letter that makes a sound. Sometimes there are 2 letters that make a sound. Sometimes there are 3 letters that make a sound. कभी कभी 4 letters भी आते हैं जो एक sound करते हैं. जैसे EIGH in the word 8, number 8. 8 के सिर्फ 2 sounds है. 8. But EIGH एक sound करता है. 4 letters making 1 sound. Complicated है ना? And then of course, you also have silent letters. तो ये जो है, these are all advanced alphabetic code. पहले तो बच्चों को बेसिक कोड सिखाया जाता है, जिनमें वो साउंड्स लर्न करेंगे और उसे कैसे लिख सकते हैं. One way of writing the sound. They're going to learn that. Then they learn many ways of writing the sound. ये जो लर्निंग रीडिंग की होगी बच्चों की, वो सिस्टमैटिक होनी चाहिए और प्रोग्रेसिव होनी चाहिए. Step by step, little by little, you're going to add layers to it. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the vowels out here. But before I talk about the vowels, हाँ, ये कंप्लेन्स हमेशा आती है और मैंने देखा है जब मैंने ट्रेनिंग की हूँ, काफी जगहों में किया है. जब मैं ट्रेनिंग तमिलनाडु में करती हूँ और मैं साउंड्स बताती हूँ उनको, तो there pops out the mother tongue. So for the m sound, which is in English, they'll say ma. And in Bengali, they'll say mo. And when I'm doing it in Maharashtra or in Gujarat, they say mo. Mother tongue influence teachers, आप foreign language सिखा रहे हो, it's English. और इंग्लिश के साउंड्स और हमारे इंडियन साउंड्स अलग है. So you have to be very careful about it. Sounds have to be said properly. और उसके लिए तो आपके पास अभी डिजिटल सपोर्ट भी है, तो आप साउंड्स वहां पर चेक करके देख सकते हो. प्लीज आप अपने मदर टंग के जैसा मत कीजिएगा और ना अपने भाषा में वो लिख के दीजिएगा, क्योंकि अगर आप अपनी भाषा में लिख के वो साउंड पेरेंट्स को बताओगे तो वो अपनी भाषा के हिसाब से सीखेंगे और वो साउंड नहीं मैच होगा. अगर आप लेटर एम को म, मा या मो बोलोगे तो वो तो इंग्लिश है ही नहीं, क्योंकि इंग्लिश में साउंड है दैट्स द साउंड. कुछ ऐड नहीं करोगे उसमें, ओके? तो वैसे भी मैं आपको साउंड तो सिखाने ही वाली हूं. तो फर्स्ट लेट्स लुक एट दीज वाउल्स. तो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आर वाउल्स? A vowel is in every word that we read and write. Letters तो है 5 और हमारे पास तो है short vowels भी है और long vowels भी है. वैसे तो इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में 20 vowel sounds है. 20. Yeah. So first let me talk about the short vowels for you, because normally जब हम शुरू करते vowel के sounds करते बच्चों के साथ, तो हम short vowel करते हैं. नाउ इसको शॉर्ट क्यों बोला है? लॉन्ग क्या है? सिंपल है. शॉर्ट का मतलब होता है शॉर्ट, लॉन्ग का मतलब होता है लॉन्ग. यानी साउंड जो होगा वो शॉर्ट होगा, वो बाउंसी होगा, वो कॉम्पैक्ट होगा. जैसे आ, ए, ओ, आ. मैं अपना पॉइंटर लेके आपको बताती हूँ, ठीक है? ये हो गया आ. ओके, यहां पर है. सॉरी, 1 मिनट. राइट हियर. आ. ये साउंड जो है आ. और प्लीज मैं आपको बोल सकती थी कि ए का साउंड आ है, लेकिन आप वैसे नहीं करोगे. आप लेटर नेम और लेटर साउंड कभी भी नहीं सिखाओगे. लेटर नेम और लेटर साउंड नहीं सिखाते हैं साथ में. पहले तो साउंड सिखाओ, नहीं तो the child will not know how to make the teacher happy. Do I say the sound? Do I say the letter name? So when you're doing phonics with the children, जब भी आप शुरू करते हो phonics करना, insist on the sounds. और जब भी आप complicated code करते हैं, जहां पे double letters आते हैं, तभी आप लेटर नेम्स उनके साथ कर सकते हो, बट राइट नाउ इनिशियली आप उनके साथ साउंड्स करोगे। तो इसका साउंड है आ जैसे एप्पल, और ये है ए एग, एंड दिस इज ए एज एन इग्लू, ओ orange, and a umbrella. So these are your short vowels. Listen to it again. E, o, a. These are short vowels. And the long vowels are the letter names. And they are stretchy. They are long, like A, E, I, U. So these are your long vowels. Of course, there are more vowel sounds, but we are limiting ourselves to these right now. So short vowels are bouncy sounds. Long vowels are stretchy sounds. Let me show you the sounds that I have for you. And for this, I'm going to talk about the sounds as per Jolly Phonics. Now, let me tell you, जो sounds जो है English के will remain the same. They are not going to change. Jolly Phonics is a methodology. दूसरे भी जो phonics सिखाते हैं वो भी एक methodology है. Sounds have to be the same. But since I'm a trainer in Jolly Phonics, I'm going to show you some things which I have learned, and I will do the actions also of Jolly Phonics. आप actions नहीं करोगे तो चलेगा, but see that you get the sounds right. Okay? तो as per Jolly Phonics जब भी हम करते हैं ये, जब हम sounds करते हैं और ज़्यादातर सब phonics के करते हैं, हम 42 sounds सिखाते हैं बच्चों को जो basic रहता है. तो here it is. Ready? आप देख सकते हो कि यहाँ पर हमारे पास ये जो हमने ग्रुप्स बनाए हैं, शायद जो आप कर रहे होगे वो इस ग्रुप्स के हिसाब से नहीं रहेंगे, कोई और ग्रुप हो सकता है या ऐसे भी हो सकता है, लेकिन साउंड्स के ऊपर आप ध्यान दीजिएगा. ओके, सो द फर्स्ट साउंड दैट यू सी इज नॉट सर. ओके, सर और मैडम को आप भूल जाइएगा, साउंड बराबर से बोलिएगा. ये जो दूसरा वाला है वो है आ. The next sound is t. और ये जो साउंड है वो है ए. Not E, okay? A. I tell my children A, like idli. They like it. Next one is P. Mind you, not p, okay? It's and this sound is n, not n. It's your n sound. Now both of these letters make the same sound, and it is k. Please do not equate it to our Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati k, kh, because English में तो ख है ही नहीं. दोनों के साउंड एक ही है और वो है like the word magic at the end. Magic. That's the sound. ये जो है sound ये है ए. Like egg. Oh, elephant. And this one is and this one is While this one, you rub your tummy and you say So you purse your lips and you say और ये जो है, this is d, like the drums that you're beating. This sound is g. It's the water going down. O, like the switch going on and off. O. This one is a, as an umbrella, and it's going up. This one is not low, okay? It's like you lick your lollipops. This sound is not fur. And this one out here is B. B. So you have your bat, you're hitting your ball with it and going B. So that's the sound. We also have two letters that make a sound and we call them digraphs. Two letters making one sound. And this one is A, A, A. And it is a long vowel sound. A. While this, you're a jelly and you're going to shake like a jelly and go J, J, J. This sound is O, O, like a goat in a boat. This is my favorite sound and it's I. Like the captain said, I. This one is E, E. And the one after that is O. So I hope you're getting the sounds जो मैं आपको बता रही हूँ. Let's look at the next group. This one is Z, Z, like a buzzing bee. This one is W, W, W. While this one, you lift something and pretend, huh? Don't actually lift, just pretend and go. So that's the sound. The sound is mm. For this sound, watch out. It goes like this. Not V, but V. Like the word give, love, have. V. Not how, it's V sound. Watch out. Two sounds out here for these double letters. One is your little O, like a book, or look, or good. That's your little O. And then comes a long U, like U. So O, U. Two sounds. Again, O, U. So you're like a cuckoo clock going O, O. Next sound, Y, Y, Y. You're eating yummy yellow yogurt. Mishti doi. Next one is X, X. You're clicking with your X-ray camera. X. This one is Ch, Ch, Ch. Can you guess what this is? That's a train moving. Ch, Ch, Ch. Don't go cha, cha, cha. Okay? This is not cha. It's ch. Like lunch. Ends with a ch sound. You don't say luncher. So that's your ch. This is your ch sound. The next sound is sh. Like push or shell or shampoo. It begins with a sh sound. Then you have two sounds coming in. This one is your z sound. Z, z, like this and that. So our equivalent, our Indian equivalent for it is the. अगर आप अ द में से निकाल दोगे तो आपके पास बच जाता है z sound. The next sound is the unvoiced sound because your vocal cords don't vibrate. और इसका इंडियन इक्विवेलेंट है थ. अगर आप अ निकाल दोगे थ में से तो बच जाता है. So that's the sound. So two sounds. The next one is qu, qu, like the duck which is quacking, but only qu. Next one is ow, ow, like you pricked your thumb with a needle. Ow. This one is I. You shout out and say I. While this is you and sometimes oo. Like the color blue. That's your oo sound. And you like in Q or like the word fuel. That's your U sound. This one is like a mixer or a letter or a tiger or mother, father, brother, sister. And the last one is ah. Ah. You open your mouth wide and say are. So teachers, this is your basic code. पर जब भी आप ये बच्चों को रीडिंग के लिए सिखाते हो, just don't do this in isolation. इसके साथ आप गेम्स भी खेलोगे. For example, tell me, in the word fish, where is the sh sound? Is it at the beginning? Is it in the middle? Or is it at the end? Fish. Can you please write it in the comments? I know it's very easy, but please likhiyega fish. And you will tell the children, this is how we count the sounds. Fish. Sh. The sh is at the end. I hope you've written that. It's at the end. Again, this is phonemic awareness because letters तो दिख रहे नहीं है, sounds है. तो please आप इसको continue कीजिएगा. Phonemic awareness needs to be done constantly with the children. आप उनके साथ और भी games खेल सकते हो sounds के हिसाब से. Also, you will show them the letters and they will start blending it and reading it. So let's talk about blending. कैसे read करेंगे? जब भी आप उनको सिखाते हो read करना, कैसे read करेंगे? जैसे चलो हम कोई ले लेते हैं हमारा letter यहाँ पर, ये तो उल्टा हो गया. So say it's the word, they have to read the word. Okay, anyway, I'll show it to you. So here it is. So they have to read this word. So how they'll go about with it? They'll go app, tap. Now many a times children guess the word. They'll go app and they'll say fish, or they'll say pan, or they'll say sit. So how do you prevent that? Very easy. You can teach them snap it together, tap, tap. This is how you can do it. Join the first to the second and then to the third. Not the other way around. Not app or fit. Because जब हम read करते हैं तो हम left to right read करते हैं. बीच में से end नहीं read करते हैं. So yes, you can do family words. Family words are fine. But for blending skills, reading skills के लिए, you need to teach them to go from the left to the right. Family words can be done as an activity. And it's a great activity. It's good. Rhyming के लिए भी बहुत अच्छा है. And even without the letters, you can ask them like, what rhymes with box? So tell me what rhymes with the box. Is it this or is it this? What rhymes with box? And they will say fox. As you can see, no letters out here. They're still working on their skills. You can even ask them, where is the x sound or where is the o sound in fox? And they can work it out. Also, you can show them letters, how to go about with reading. So, these skills that we need to impart are done gradually with the children. ये जो skills जो मैं आपको phonics के बता रही हूँ, ये होते हैं हमारे kindergarten में होते हैं. और जो आप उससे पहले जो होता है नर्सरी में जो होगा, उसमें आप ज़्यादा उनको स्टोरी सुनाइएगा, उनका कॉम्प्रीहेंशन, उनका वोकैबुलरी आप डेवलप कीजिएगा, बिकॉज दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर उनके पास वोकैबुलरी नहीं होगी और उनको समझ नहीं होगी वर्ड्स की, तो they will not even be able to associate the sound to any word. It is just a nonsensical word for them. So it's important that you build up on their vocabulary and on their comprehension skills at early ages. It's extremely important that you do that. Encouragement. You've got to encourage your children. And how do you encourage your children? Like my Ladakhi teachers, they always say, Shabash! और उनका बोलने का भी ढंग अलग होता है. So beautifully they say it. So give them enough of shabashi. Little stars दे दो उनको, थोड़े stickers दे दो, एक smile दे दो. They want a smile from you. They want a pat from you. Do that for the children. It's important. Remember, everyone doesn't learn to read at the same time. Probably घर पे support नहीं होगा उनका. Yeah, they are distracted in the class for whatever reason. You need to work on those skills also with the children. जब भी वो read करते हैं तो उनको काफ़ी सारी decodable books दीजिएगा जो वो read कर सकते हैं. ऐसे भी बच्चे रहते हैं जो प्रिडिक्टेबल टेक्स्ट लेके रीड करते हैं, जैसे पिक्चर देखेगा और बोलेंगे दिस इज अ रेड कार, दिस इज अ ब्लू कार, दिस इज अ येलो कार, वो गाड़ी देख के ही वही सेंटेंस को बोलते हैं, वो रीडिंग नहीं होता है। ओके, तो रीडिंग इज एक्चुअली लुकिंग एट द लेटर्स एंड कन्वर्टिंग देम इनटू साउंड्स, और उसके लिए आपको दूसरे स्किल्स के बारे में सोचना चाहिए। वो कौन से स्किल्स है जो मैंने आपको बताया था? एक तो होता है स्टोरी टेलिंग, टेल देम स्टोरीज टू बिल्ड अप देयर वोकैबुलरी, देयर अंडरस्टैंडिंग। The other one that I've told you is phonemic awareness. Play with words. Rhymes ले लो या starting sound ले लो या बोलो I spy. I spy with my little eye something in the class that begins with a D. And they'll say door or they'll say duster. So you can play those games with them. Rhymes कर लो उनके साथ, गाने गाओ उनके साथ. Build up on their listening skills. And of course, phonics. Phonics is so important for reading. Explicit, directly teach them the sounds before you expect them to read. As I mentioned, lots of encouragement to build up their confidence, to make them feel great, to make them have high self-esteem, and also to encourage competition. My best competition is girls versus boys. Works all the time. They do really well. They want to outdo each other. So, healthy competition, do that. You can give them certificates, stickers, and a whole lot of things. So, I would like to know, how do you encourage your children? आप कैसे encourage करते हो बच्चों को? क्या आप उनको पिक्चर दिखा के बोलते हो टेल मी व्हाट दिस वर्ड इज, और नीचे लेटर्स लिखा रहता है फॉर रीडिंग? क्या आप ऐसे करते हो? आप ऐसे मत कीजिएगा, क्योंकि बच्चे फिर वो फ्लैश कार्ड देखते हैं और उसको उसी का नाम लेते हैं, दे आर नॉट रीडिंग इट। तो वैसे मत कीजिएगा। इफ यू वांट देम टू रीड, तो वहां पर पिक्चर नहीं होना चाहिए। दे शुड रीड इट without the picture. There is always a problem I see. I've noticed this amongst my children who cannot read. They, first of all, they never point and read. That's number one problem. It's very important that the children point and read. बड़े बच्चों के साथ भी when I'm working, and my oldest group is about 12 years old, तो उनको भी I tell them please point and read. And when I'm modeling reading, I also point and read. So I know which word I am reading. And if they are stuck, I tell them, use your sounds. देखो, join करके देखो, आ जाएगा आपको. Don't look at the picture. Because ऐसे भी बच्चे रहते हैं जो pictures देख लेते हैं and then they tend to blurt out the word. So please, that's not reading. You need to encourage them to actually read, और उसके लिए उनको sound सिखाइएगा. Please do not use your mother tongue to show them the sounds. Okay, do not use the way the sounds are called out in your language, because that is not English. तो उनको नहीं होगा फिर रीड करने के लिए। प न ट नहीं है इंग्लिश में, इंग्लिश हैज एंड ट। तो एक बार और मैं आपके साथ साउंड्स कर लेती हूँ, एंड दिस टाइम आई विल डू इट क्विकली, और आप मेरे साथ फिर से कीजिएगा ये साउंड्स। लेट्स डू इट अगेन। A, E. Next group. E, R, D, G, O, A, U, B. Group number 4. A, J, O, I, E, O. Group number 5. Z, W, F, O, U. Group number 6. Y, Ch, Z. Group number 7. Qu, Ow, Oi, U, and sometimes U. And the short vowels, याद है आपको short vowels? A, E, I, O, Ah. These are your short vowels. Long vowels are your letter names, at least for your A, E, I, O, U. So see, phonics is so easy. और आप वैसे भी बच्चों के साथ स्टोरीज करते हो ना, आप रीड तो करते हो बच्चों के साथ, कॉम्प्रिहेंशन स्किल्स करो उनके साथ, vocabulary build करो, choose some words from there, ask them what they hear in this, what sound they hear. तो ये सब is going to help them in their reading readiness. Okay. So, certificate stickers that you have, and of course, you also have the digital support. You can always rely on it. So, I wish you the very best.
Incy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed poor Incy out. Out came the sunshine and dried a full array. So Incy spider.
Shainaz, I just don't want this to end. And thank you for taking us all over again. I have two questions for you. I was just moderating. There's a teacher who wants to know, when you're teaching initial sounds, should they begin with 3-letter words, 4-letter words, or 5-letter words? How do you introduce initial sounds?
Okay, that's a great question. Now, initial sounds. You said sounds. Doesn't matter how many letters are there. It's just the sound that you're talking about. Don't show them the word. Like, I could ask them, which is the first sound in shampoo? Shampoo. They're supposed to say shh. Of course, shh is a difficult one. I'll probably, when I'm doing initially with the children, I can even work with 3-letter words and ask them. For example, in the word red, what do you hear first? Red. Red. And they're supposed to say r. That's the sound. Okay, not r. R agar aap bologe, to you're adding an extra to it. So it's only a r sound.
And one more question, that we have the alphabet case, as we say, has 26 letters. And we generally, many schools just teach those 26 sounds. But today you have introduced us to more sounds. So what are those additional sounds called?
Well, that is the code of the English language. If you're only doing 26 letters, it's half knowledge. And half knowledge, as you know, is dangerous. So 26 letters, you're limiting yourself. अगर आप सिर्फ 26 लेटर साउंड सिखाओगे तो बच्चे फिश कैसे पढ़ेंगे या चॉप कैसे पढ़ेंगे? You've not done the digraphs with them, so you need to do that. So digraphs basically are 2 letters making one sound. So single letter sounds होते हैं, फिर digraphs भी होते हैं. And then as you go further, you even have trigraphs like air, ear, ur, वो भी होते हैं. So that's a part of the advanced code. वो बच्चों के साथ करना पड़ता है. But at a later stage.
One thing I definitely want to reiterate, and thank you for saying that and stating it, that that phonics is a program. It can't be done at a go, in a day or two or a month. And secondly, every child has a different speed, and all the children are at their emergent levels, and learning is happening at all times, not only in the school but at home, on the road. Absolutely. Even while playing. So the awareness or the hearing is what needs to be enhanced. Before I say thank you to you, there's a thought that which th am I using? the th one, where's my tongue?
Thank you. So it's your sound. Closer to your th, but th is more Indian. The English sound is so it's thank you.
So thank you, Shainaz, and we're going to have you over and over again. And it was fun learning with you.
It was a pleasure to be here, and thank you once again for inviting me.
Signing off with Shainaz Dashna Dapke. Thank you.